Hi, and good evening to Tottenham from Gold, your home of the classic match and classic content. Tonight we have a belter. And firstly, I would like to dedicate this stream to the speedy recovery of one of our own, Bob Spur, who sadly is in hospital with COVID. So, Bob, wherever, how, we wish you a speedy recovery and, see you back on YouTube soon, telling us all to piss off. But thanks for everything you've done, but speedy recovery. And also, I want to say thank you very much to Simon from Jive1 for allowing us to use this video tonight. These games will not be possible without your kindness and your support for letting us use your catalogue of games, which you've spent a lot of money on over the years. So once again, from me, Kuva and Phil, we send our thankfulness. And again, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on to do your Spurs game. Right, getting all that out of the way, I've got my two Spursy mates with me. Next to me is the man that rocks flat caps as good as anyone can. It's Kuva99. How are you, Kuva?
Yeah, doing well today. Very, very saddened about the news about Bob, but we're all rooting for him here. Much loved figure around the Spurs community online here, but looking forward to a bit of football now to take our minds off things, sort of cheer us up a bit. This is one I'm not too familiar with. I know about the game and I know some of the story behind it, but this is even a bit too far back for me to be old enough to remember.
And below me, I have the man that makes Matt Letizia look bad looking because he's the better twin brother. Better looking twin brother. It's Phil Letiz. How are you, Phil, this evening?
Yeah, I think I would just echo what Kuva said. Obviously, just, love and heart goes out to Bob and, his family, and wish him all the best, and really hope to hear a speedy recovery and a piss off Bob, coming soon. But, thoughts and prayers with you at this time. Again, with this game, looking forward to the game, with no game last night and no game on the horizon, nothing beats watching a bit of classic Tottenham history, does it?
No, that's true. Sorry, just doing that. Sorry, I was just texting Levy to leave his office and just pack his bags and leave. He's leaving now. Let's see who's in the chat tonight. We've got Spurs 72 saying, "I can't wait. I'm loving this channel while showing me age." Good evening, welcome Spurs 72. Paul Brown is saying Spurs 72 would agree. We showing the one's age. Can't say I know what you're talking about. La la la. We've got one here from Simon. Evening all. Thanks for the shout. This match was more famous for the antics in the crowd than off the pitch. It upset Ben Nick so much he resigned. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, Simon, I would agree with you 100% there, Simon. And thank you for coming in. And please, if you want to come on one golden match, give us what game is your favourite Spurs game. We'd love to have you on the channel. And thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to show this match tonight. Derek Hutchinson, big up you guys. Get well soon, Bob Spur. And he said, big up you guys. Same thing again.
There you go.
Yeah. Brian, hi Brian. Hope you're all right. I was just speaking to him a little while ago. Listen, I hope you're keeping okay, and let us, if you hear anything, let us know. And thank you very much for joining in. And we've got Paul Brown. Evening, Dermot, Coover, guests, and all in the chat. Evening, Paul. Hope you enjoyed this game. Well, this game was the second European final Tottenham have played in 2 years, or 3 years, I think. They won the 1972 UEFA Cup when they beat Wolves at White Hart Lane on the 2-leg. This match now ended up 2-2 from the first leg. So going in, Spurs had to score to win because with Feyenoord with the 2 away goals. So Spurs should not have conceded. Did not need to concede, and Spurs needed to score. It was a great Bill Nick's last European final. So, shall we get the game up, Cooper?
We'll do just that.
And
So
yeah,
put the team at the bottom there for you, Dermot. Or not for you,
Yeah,
for
thank you.
all the people watching.
and there we go, Duck Drive 1. Again, thank you so much, sir. Independent Television Sport presents. I mean, it's great to go to a match and they've already started. It's brilliant, isn't it, Cooper?
Straight, no messing there. Is it?
No, they had no build up or anything. Right, just go straight into the match.
Not the hour and a half long previews that you get in today's sporting.
That's right. There's
And
a
Gerald
blast from the
Sten-
past, isn't it? Gerald
Geraldson stat.
He sadly passed away, didn't he? A month or so ago, I think, if I remember right.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
He would certainly be getting on a bit if he's knocking around still.
And there's find out. What do you guys think of the Tottenham kit?
It doesn't. I don't like it. I really don't.
When we first looked at it yesterday, it kind of looked a little bit like another one.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
But it's.
There's the great Pat Jennings.
Should see a few fairly feisty tackles in this one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, we had a bit of a rerun last night of watching this, and believe me, there were some feisty tackles. Martin Peters was in this team as well. Kit looks like Woolwich. It does.
Yeah, that's what Simon's saying, isn't it? It's like, well, it looks like Woolwich.
It does.
It's a horrible feeling, that really.
It is.
Let's pretend it's Sweden instead.
Yeah,
I was going to say that's better. Yeah, it looks more like the Swedish kit.
Oh, look.
Do you want to go through the team, Dermot? Do you want to just...
Yeah. The team for Tottenham. I will get it there once it starts at 1 again. I will go through it again. The Dutch team were very good at this time, weren't they? But anyway, in goal is Pat Jennings. The defenders are Evans, Terry, Naylor, Pratt, England, Beale, McGrath, Steve Perriman, midfield, Martin Peters, Martin Shivers up front, and with Ralph Coates, and then M. Dillon was the substitute. I mean, some big names there, isn't there, lads? I mean, you've got Peters, Shivers.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, there's not many clubs in the world that, even at that point, would have been saying, "I don't want Peters or Shivers." You know, and with the great Steve Perryman in there as well, it's like, and of course, probably the best player in their position this night would be the goalkeeper, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Pat Jennings.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would Martin Peters be more of a striker than a midfielder, or a cam?
Do you know? I was just going to say I would probably say if you were looking at it today, he's probably a 10, isn't he? He's not quite a striker, but he's a little bit more than midfield. So I would probably say, in the cam. I wonder what the guys that are watching.
Can I just say, look in the corner flag, see what's there. I do apologise if somebody can read it. If it goes up a bit, it's quite a rude word.
Oh, all right.
I didn't see it. I'm going to be looking now. Typical of you to notice that.
Yeah. You couldn't really miss it.
So, Dermot, what was this Feyenoord team like? Because they'd obviously been close, Holland had been close to World Cup finals, hadn't they, in and around this time?
Well, this was before the '74 World Cup. So
what I'm saying is they were on their way to building that squad that got not, I was going to say European final, was it? It was a World Cup final.
Yeah.
We should have had Spurs 72 on for the talk through, shouldn't we? He'd probably put us all to shame with his knowledge about the players on this one.
Yeah, he's just commented now, isn't it? Shivers, I love that guy.
Yeah, Martin Shivers, what a great striker.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a very funny relationship with Nicholson, didn't he? A bit like Archibald with Birkinshaw. Very strained, I think, at the end, sort of thing, during his time.
Do you think there was the mutual respect there, but they just
I say so. I say so.
But that happens quite often, doesn't it?
Yeah, he had a bad knee injury, didn't he? I think that's what finished him. He had an injury. He was never the same player again.
Well,
No,
it says a lot when, sort of almost 50 years later, and they're still household names amongst the Spurs fans.
Yeah.
You've got serious talent then.
Oh, new
And
person in the nest. Carterman is in the house.
Yeah, he's been in before. Carterman, Farming Solutions. He says, "Hello guys, hope you're all well. Great to see the classics being played, boys. Well, with no game this weekend, there will be a few more classic games being played. So we'll try to bring you a few more good games. Well, I think we'll go to the 80s, so what we haven't decided. But here's Ralph Coates on the attack. And Spurs. Oh.
It's difficult. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry, Coover. Go on, Coover. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say it's difficult to sort of pick out any Dutch players that are recognised at the moment. But there's there must be some of the up and coming players for the later the '74 World Cup and things like that.
I would say so. I mean, this was Tottenham's second European final in a couple of years, wasn't it? I mean, a great start to the '70s for us, wasn't it? 2 League Cups and 2 European finals. As I said,
Indeed,
the first game ended 2-2. Mike England scored one of the goals in the first game.
Oh, come on. What's going on? Shoot!
Oh,
he's got what a finish!
It's a goal. I think the referee's ruled it out.
Oh, that's scandalous. So evening to Ben. Ben Kaufman's in the house. Good evening, sir.
Thank you for this morning, Ben. It's glad to have you. We had a good show this morning with Ben and the Irish Fox Club, which was a lot of fun to do.
What do you think was wrong there?
You can see me.
Oh yeah, it must have been offside.
Well, I just think that the referee. Yeah, either that or the referee's got a few 50s falling out of the back of his pocket. On the Dutch side, a
couple of 50s in those days would have been a lot of money, wouldn't it?
No, they took him down to the red light area. That's what they've done to the referee. Showed them a good time.
In '84, Anderlecht got to the final by bribing the ref, didn't they? Knocking Forest out. Yeah.
I mean, what a final that would have been.
Did us a favour because I think Forest would have been an even harder game.
Yeah. Well, Clough was in his heyday then, wasn't he?
He certainly was.
There's the great Stevie P. Yeah, thanks, Ben. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, it was brilliant, Ralph Coates. And Catman Jess is in the chat. She's saying Tottenham Tantrum Gold Army. Big up, guys. Big up, Catman. You can just see Phil's little hand raising above your name.
I feel like one of those chads.
Yeah, well, we'll take that off now. See? Oh, Lord God, Phil.
Those hands weren't missing that ball, were they?
No.
Right.
I mean, we might as well talk about it. I mean, it's going to happen, so we might as well mention it. How stupid were we to let Pat Jennings go? And I'll start with you, Coover. I mean, how ridiculous was that? That was a bad decision, wasn't it?
There's some players we've let go that have made me plain angry. This particular one, I was too young to really understand at the time. But knowing what actually happened, it's a colossal mistake. I mean, the living legend at the club. The only reason is that they could possibly think of that they would have let him go would have been looking at his age and contract, thinking perhaps he'd be close to retirement anyway. But how wrong they were. And Pat Jennings is just one of those players you want to see finish at your club. You want its career to be, come to its twilight with the team he loves and the fans that love him. I felt the same about Steve Perryman in the 80s when he left. I couldn't believe it that he should have been a one-man club, and that one really, I felt really angry at the time. I couldn't understand why it happened, but Pat Jennings, just like I said, absolute living legend. I was lucky enough to meet him when I was a young lad. As everybody says that meets him, especially when you're young, the size of his hands are just incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
the phrase I always hear used is dinner plates, and they really were colossal. He could pick the ball up with one hand from the top. I mean, just not scoop it up, but actually wrap his fingers over it enough to.
What was he? Was he the one that brought in the one-handed safe? He was the one that started doing it, wasn't he, Pat Jennings?
I mean, I'm sure there must have been other keepers that could do it, but certainly he's well known for it. Yeah, it must have looked a formidable sight. The penalties as well. Hold his hands out to each side. It's literally less target the way he matters.
Simon has put Spurs had beaten Feyenoord 3-1 on this pitch in 1961. Well, I think that's a completely different side to this side now, 10 years later.
Certainly was.
Yeah. And Spurs 72.
That was the one I wanted, just that one from.
Go on, Phil, I'll let you read it out.
You guys do a fantastic job commentating. Unfortunately, my commentary is limited, plus I'm nowhere near as handsome as you three.
Oh, thank you very much.
Spurs 72 should have gone to Specsavers.
You can talk for yourself, Phil. I'm taking that as a compliment.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm desperate.
Yeah.
If I'm going to just add my 2 pennies worth. My biggest regret with Pat Jennings is when I grew up watching football in the 80s, I only ever knew of Pat Jennings as an Arsenal player, and he was a Tottenham legend. Because when I grew up, that's where he was. And you just ask yourself the question of how would you let a player of that quality go? And I can't remember what year it was he went, but he went in at the 86 World Cup. He was still playing. He was still playing for Ireland then. And it's like, and we let him go.
I'm just trying to so the comments don't actually crowd you out.
It's
fine. It's fine. I'll carry on with them.
I suppose there's a comparison there. It's since we're playing a Dutch side here, Cruyff did similar. If that's the case, if it was to annoy the board, because when Ajax let him go, or weren't going to extend his contract anyway, so he went over to Feyenoord, I believe it was, and proceeded to win the league, take it away from Ajax. And then Ajax re-signed him when they realised what a mistake it was. Hope I've got that the right way round anyway. Memory's starting to go at my age. But it's a similar sort of situation. Your absolute club legend has to go somewhere else. Fans absolutely sickened seeing it. And then they prove their worth and come back again. So, there's a comparison there.
Big up Cody Mack. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy it, and please let me know. Please let me know about the beard. We're all interested. Also, Simon again. First match I ever saw live was Keith Birkinshaw testimonial in 1984. Pat Jennings guested for Spurs in the 2-2 draw against England.
Fantastic.
I mean, Pat Jennings always got a good reception when Tottenham played Arsenal. Even at the Lane, even at Highbury or the Lane, he always got a standing ovation. I think he's the only player to go to Arsenal.
He didn't like engineer a move or walk out. Our board engineered a move by a lack of respect, didn't they? And Tottenham fans don't forget that.
The story that goes behind, he was told that he wasn't wanted at the club anymore, and I think Manchester United and other clubs were after him up north. And he went to say goodbye to the players that were going off on tour. And all the directors at the time just blanked him. And Pat Jennings, in his own words, thought, "Well, why should I travel up and down from the north every day? If you're going to treat me like that, then I'm going to go to Arsenal." I mean, the beard is doing well, recovering nicely. It comes back quick. Shaving is pointless. Yeah, I would agree. I agree, Cody Mack. Shaving is a pain in the backside. And Catman just saying big up Cody Mack. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really blame him, can you? I mean, you can't blame him for what he did, but he's a legend of the club, always will be. And works there now, I think, doesn't he, Pat Jennings, for the Legends?
Yeah, he's always got a very strong connection to the club. I mean, he's well loved. One of those players that's just universally loved as well.
Yeah.
can be a rare thing nowadays. I mean, you get it with the likes of Paul Gascoigne, whoever he's played for, the fans still love him. Same with Big Pat. I mean, just a wonderful human being as well. Such a gentleman. Real warmth to him. It is unbelievable. When the first time we met him, it was just this huge great man with a great hand, and he's gentle as a lamb with you. The kids loved him. We're all around him, tiny little kids around him. We were all sort of pulling away at him. Come on, go in goal so we can take a couple of shots at him. And he was all up for that. You could tell he was a great family man.
Catman just wanted to tackle. I know they could tackle then. This is when football was football. Men were men. Really, wasn't it? The tough men. Yeah.
What a miss! Did you see that? Yeah. You should have buried that.
We even had it in slow motion as well. It was brilliant. See, we've got all the tricks here on this channel.
There were chances to do something with this game, weren't there?
Yeah. It's just one of them nights, wasn't it? Look, I've got to get onto it. We're going to see it later. This was really the first match that football hooliganism really started to rise its head. I know there have been bits and pieces, and I'll just wait to see what Alex do here. Started to come through back in England. It started to creep in, I think, around this time in Europe as well. I mean, do you think? I mean, as Simon said earlier, this was the end for Bill Nick for Tottenham. It upset him that much, didn't it? What's your thoughts on that, Cooper? I mean, we'll never get it out of the game, will we? It would always be down one way or the other. But
sorry, I'm just laughing at this bit. You can't miss Coates with that comb over. It's something you don't see nowadays, isn't it?
Do you remember the Hamlet advert with the fella? He had hair like Ralph Coates. I swear to God, that was Ralph Coates doing them adverts.
Sorry, Dermot. Anyway, you were saying.
I don't know what I was talking about now, Peter. So
you asked about the trouble, which, let's face it, is never good, is it?
No.
Oh yeah. I mean,
as we said last night, we didn't beat them on the pitch, but we beat them in the car park, in the streets, and in the boat.
When it puts an end to the great man Bill Nick's interest in the game, it's all you need to know. It's football through and through. Not just Spurs, but all football. He just lived and breathed for the game. I heard stories about it, how he'd stop in the park and just watch kids playing. Sometimes he just loved watching it, no matter what. That's something else you don't see now. So much people tend to get out there, pay for their wages, and then off they go with other interests. But there are still those who love the game so much they live and breathe every moment of the day just for football.
Yeah. Cooper, do you want to say something to Simon? Because I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just a bit humbled by that. So do you want to read out what Simon says?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Duck Jive One or Simon. I've just shared your link on my YouTube channel, so your subscribers and watchers should go up a bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was talking to Dermot the other day. I think Phil would agree with this. If you're up for it, I think you would make a really good guest for perhaps one of our morning shows at some point. Just talking about your channel and how it came about, because you put in a lot of time and effort, and everybody can see that on your channel. Fantastic selection, and it's really appreciated by us, certainly.
We're all extremely grateful, aren't we? We really are extremely grateful.
Absolutely. There's so much there to be able to look at, and it's given us some great ideas for our channel, and the fact that you're a part of that is just fantastic. So I would echo and say thank you ever so much. We, absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Perhaps if we get the actual World Cup called off in time, we could have a look at some of that England footage, do our own little sort of World Cup during that time.
But everyone, do get over to Duck Jive One. He has a fantastic channel over there. Absolutely fantastic. If you are enjoying this stream, please like and subscribe. We're going to start doing more matches. We had a bit of a meeting today. We will bring Phil up to date after this stream, but we'll do more matches over the weekend. Phil has me and Phil come up with a bit of a brainwave, so I'll let you disguise what we're doing tomorrow and Sunday, Phil. So I'll let you introduce our little sideline onto this channel quickly.
Yeah, we're going off in a very slightly different direction. So as much as we are Tottenham Tantrum Gold, we are bringing it up to the very latest for the Grand Prix for this weekend, because it is.
Oh, what a miss!
It's obviously it's the final showdown in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Max and Lewis both on exactly the same amount of points, and basically all to play for. So we're going to do the qualifying tomorrow, and then we won't stream the game, but we'll do a watch along. So you will hear sort of our views on everything, with Dermot supporting Mad Max and Phil the gentleman supporting Lewis.
And Coover just sitting there, just not interested. But
going, what is this all about? It's not It's not football, is it?
Yeah, football all the way for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Unless it's maybe watching.
Oh no! Come on!
That was a mistake from Pat.
After those chances we'd been having as well.
I know. This is like watching Tottenham now.
Let's have a look to see. Should Jennings have got a better punch on that, or should he have caught that? Should have caught it.
Oh, it's just a bit of mistiming, I think.
It's one of those, isn't it, where you just can't get to the. Oh,
it's the quality of the ball in, isn't it? When it's just drifting away a little bit from the goalkeeper.
Just before half time as well. Just before half time.
So who's that? Russ Burgeon. Never heard of him. That name doesn't ring a bell.
No. We should really have looked up their team, shouldn't we?
We should. But this is our channel. We sort of wheels fall off after about 10 minutes.
Well, that's right.
Literally, my wheel did fall off my car today. I went to start it, and the shock absorber collapsed. So I've just had one of them days. So this is lovely for me.
Getting a good bit of love in the comments there for Simon at Duck Jive. So Truth Sets You Free, legend. Yeah. Fantastic.
It's a superb channel by Derek Hutchinson, and Simon put rare schoolboy error from Big Pat. Yeah, it was a rare.
Certainly.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's at blame for that one. If that was today and that was Hugo or Galini, we'd all be ridiculing him for that, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Galini wouldn't have got his hand to it.
Yeah, he's making up for it there, though, isn't he? He's like, come on, this is my ball.
Anyway, you can find us actually now on Facebook. We've got a Facebook channel. We've also now got an Instagram channel as well, which we will be getting up onto the thing. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, you can. You don't have to donate to watch, but anything you do donate will go back into the channel. So the link for that's on the main YouTube channel.
There's one more thing I was going to say on about Duck Jive's channel as well. Of course, if you go and watch some of the games there, it's the original commentary as well, which is quite fun. I mean, obviously, we like to talk through it here and just reminisce, but look, here we go.
Here we go. Go on, Cooper. Do your best, John Motson commentary here about the crowd.
I couldn't possibly. I absolutely
shocking scenes that.
Yeah. What a disgrace to Tottenham.
Yeah, we really didn't cover ourselves in any glory that night, did we? No. There's no excuse for that. Not then.
Nor did we in '84 either when we went over there.
Yeah, I mean, you get the always the things talked about Liverpool and the Heysel incident in '85, and people think it's not our club, so we wouldn't get up to that sort of thing. But it was just so widespread at this point.
It never was in the '60s, was it? It just came in the '70s. Do you think that was to do with as the referee blows half time, it's 1-0 final, they're 3-2 up, Ralph Coates looking for a Hamlet cigar? Do you think it was around the era of the '70s recession or things like that? Or do you think that the swinging '60s had gone now, it was the '70s? I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Over.
That's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a sort of society type thing. what's the cause of it? Well, you're always going to have here we go to go straight to the next bit. More.
I mean, look at these idiots. Honest to God, proper fucking idiots. Well, that fella went flying.
He certainly did.
I wonder how many of them would be watching today, going, "Oh, that's look, son, there's me. Look, I'm getting into a fight over football."
I mean,
really?
Simon makes the point. Final fans were no angels either, and
No,
there weren't.
but takes two to tango, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you wonder if they really were instigating that.
I think it's a case of young men just looking for a bit of a fight. It's an exciting thing for people. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Young men are always going to have a fascination in the MMA, the boxing matches. It's exciting getting involved in fights. It can be. There's a big draw. There's a tribal sort of element to it. It would just a pity it has to sort of attach itself to football in this way, because we love the game, and this sort of thing just absolutely ruins it.
There's a bit of a fire there.
Yeah, I think Eugene's in the chat now.
Yeah.
I think big up to everyone at Tottenham Gold. Thank you, and another one just for Bob. Please send love and a prayer for our brother Bob. Absolutely, Eugene. We're all in that place.
And Paul Brown says Spurs fan base tend to look back at the past through rose-tinted glasses. Plenty to be shameful for, unfortunately. Well, yeah, you can say that about all clubs, can't you?
Yeah.
Do you think that trouble affected the players that night?
It surely must have. Sometimes the disturbances are just too big, and when there's a break in play, an injury or something, you'll glance over what's going around the stadium, and you're going to pick up on it. Perhaps not as glaringly obvious as it would be today, because there's so many safety measures in place in today's game. But it's got to affect you, hasn't it? You can't, surely they couldn't be blissfully unaware of everything at this point. Well, actually, I suppose they could be at this point during the actual match. But like I said, when you get a break in the play, you're going to be having a look what's going on around you, and where's the noise coming from suddenly. Because if there's no action on the pitch, that's something else kicking off.
Phil, same question to you. I mean, it affected Bill Nick badly, didn't it? He resigned, 4 months later?
Absolute beginning of the end for him. I think, my point on this is it's absolutely unnecessary. We don't like other fans, but it doesn't give us the right to go and start a fight with them and stuff. And is it going to affect the players? Oh my God, yes. I mean, they say that, don't they? That when you looked at during COVID, more teams won away from home because they didn't have all the disturbance of the home team crowd and stuff. So that almost reiterates what we're saying here is, you are going to be affected by not only the game but what's going on elsewhere.
I'll tell you, Feyenoord didn't play it around there, did they? Little tricks and flicks there. Shows how good that Dutch side really was in '74. I mean, they really should have won the World Cup in '74. Really, they had a Cruyff for Northends.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's
Cruyff and Beckenbauer.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's largely based around the Ajax side, but I could be wrong. I mean, Feyenoord are obviously a big enough team in Holland, so.
Considering this was our first European final defeat, I mean, the other one was, of course, the Champions League final. I mean, we weren't used to losing, were we? The Spurs side, we actually never lost a final.
I was going to say we generally haven't lost too many finals until more recently, but the Tottenham of old didn't lose finals.
I mean, Bill Nick never lost a final bar this one. He won everything else.
Yeah, we're literally talking about the end of the golden era, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, before
Do you
that
think-
nice little renaissance in the 80s under
Yeah, but do you
Birkinshaw.
think this was the end of the proper golden era for Tottenham?
I think so. When you see the likes of it's one of the last games for the likes of Shivers and Peters, you've got to say that there was a big shift in from that the players. I mean, we'd already lost the likes of Blanchflower and Mackay and Dyson, and all those household names from the Super Spurs. We'd developed into this team, and still a very, very good team. But the fire is starting to fade, and we know what happened later on in the 70s. It went really downhill, but it's the last of an era.
Yeah, I just want to ask you both a question. I'll start with you, Cooper, and then I'll go down to Phil. I mean, the Tottenham board at the time, they treated Bill Nick pretty badly, didn't they, when he left? Do you think if he had listened to his recommendations about who to take over, good save by Pat there, who to take over, do you think Tottenham could have avoided relegation, or do you think the rot was already set in?
Oh, sorry, I just need to go for one moment, please.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Phil, I'll take that question to you.
I think there was problems at the club, and the board certainly didn't help anything, did they? No. But yeah, the rot was on its way in. But a rot or stuff like that doesn't happen overnight. It takes, as we know, it takes years for it to come through something. So, if we're getting relegated in a few years' time, that's not just one poor season, is it?
No. I mean, we all love our club, and we look back, but I felt very angry when I started looking into how they treated Bill Nick. I mean, I wasn't alive at the time. But do you know what I mean? I was born the year they got relegated. But do you know what I mean? You look back at Bill Nick now and you think, yeah, the club treated them shabbily. A bit like how Enoch treated Poch, if you know what I mean. Do you know, he wanted to bring Danny Blanchflower in as manager, and he just stayed as consultant. I mean, you look at the 80s when he came in as Birkinshaw's consultant. Look at the success we had. And that was the same board that let him go in 74. So do you think the board then realised, hello, we've made a mistake here? I mean, when Keith took on the job, it was a case of, right, you do it on my terms. I want Bill Nick back. And that sort of brought the foundations of our golden regime, our mini revival in the 80s again.
Yeah. It's always back to that one quote when Birkinshaw left and he said that there used to be a club over there, a football club over there. We've seen it, and that we're all talking about it nowadays. It's the separation of business from the football side of things. The business seems to rule the roast, and we don't listen enough to club legends and people that know the game inside out. They'll surely have a much better plan for us than the likes of what Daniel Levy's done. Although he's done an impressive amount with the business side of things, the football suffers. Again, with Bill Nick, like Dermot said, Keith Birkinshaw was very keen to fall back on Bill Nick's expertise and his views on things and how to go forward. It was a really smart move to keep his influence on that team as much as he could, because he knew
his experience as well, Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely. He lived and breathed football. He was absolute Spurs man. So yeah, we don't get that anymore.
Sorry, Cooper. Didn't mean to
interrupt. We just don't have that anymore, do we? No. I mean, it would be lovely to say we'd have the likes of Glenn Hoddle and Steve Perryman and players of that ilk still heavily involved in the club. I mean, we always get occasionally here, we've got a group of advisors for Daniel Levy or something like that. But I would like to see a more concrete setup of ex-Spurs players who know everything about the club, the way we like to play football and what it means to the fans and who to appoint and if it's going to fit in. Because we get a chairman quite often flip-flopping between different styles of manager. It makes makes for
No
erratic
sense.
viewing for over the decades.
It does. I got a question for you, actually, Cooper and Phil, and I wonder what you thought. It's something I thought about the other day, but I'll put it to you in a minute. Paul Brown says here, the board, much like today, absolutely spineless and only concerned about their seats. I would agree with that. You too?
Yeah. I'm going to turn it off so you can see me. But yeah, it's like, I don't want to make this a Levy debate, but if he really is a Tottenham fan, he's not always acting in the best interest of the finances. But I think it's exactly the same in these days. Prime example, Pat Jennings. How do you let a player of his caliber leave your club and walk down the road less than 2 miles to your biggest rivals when all of that is in your control?
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking.
Something Cooper said there about bringing next players back in, like a consultant. Do you think that the club should have brought in likes of Steve Perriman and Graham Roberts or pays like that as a consultant to help with managers like Man United do? Man United have Sir Alex Ferguson still on like a mini director of football, but he's not like a consultant to Manchester United managers. Do you think Tottenham should have done a similar thing? And then I got on to Simon's comment there and then the second. Or do you want to do Simon's comment first? Give you a chance to think about that question.
Let's see. Let's bring Simon's question a second. Levy has woken up and is going to spend serious money in January. I mean, that is the hope, isn't it, Simon? It's question is going to be how much and who can we actually get hold of. I mean, at the moment it's all speculation, but that is certainly what we're all hoping. We're hoping that big sort of fan revolt that he saw in front of his face has really shaken him into putting his hand in his pocket or his hand in Joe Lewis's pocket even. Well, if they even need to, they've seem to have enough squirreled away. We were talking about the possible £400 million available before it even affects financial fair play. I mean, we're not going to see that amount. I think that would be crazy amounts. I'd love to, of course. Who wouldn't? Otherwise, the board, they're always going to be focused on their own seats. I think it goes back to even Irving Scholar, his time in charge. I mean, he threatened to take away the shelf from the fans. He wanted to turn it all into executive boxes. My God, we let him know that wasn't very popular. That sort of confrontation between board and fans went on for a little while. Eventually he was trying to compromise, so he lost part of the shelf and he got his little executive boxes there for the corporate people. It was that really angers me now because the shelf back in those days used to be the place.
One it's safe. So
you'd have this block of 20,000 people, two tiers of standing room only, and the noise generated there when the place was rocking and the shelf were on the back of the opposing team or getting behind their own team, or the away fans, we would be letting them have it. The noise was incredible. But forget all this end-to-end noise that you get from the COP and the places like that, which is impressive as well, by the way. But there was something special about the shelf, and I really, really miss it. And I know so many people that were regulars there as well say that was like the peak of going to matches.
I just want to Coop, I just want to say I'm sorry about the skippy of the match. If the match sort of lags a little bit, we do apologise, but we are looking in to get better equipment so in the new year, so we won't have that, so I do apologise for that. Do you want to answer that question, Cooper, and then to Phil? In today's market, how much do you think Pat Jennings would cost?
In his prime?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to be looking at one of the greatest goalkeepers in the planet, so you're getting towards 100 million already, aren't you? I mean, it's just the Pat Jennings. Put it this way: he, before we did get relegated, he was stopping us. He prolonged it so that we could have gone down on other seasons, but his brilliance kept us up. you just can't. You cannot possibly really gauge the full worth of a goalkeeper without. Well, it's very difficult to, even with statistics, because he just has that influence on the whole team. What I always like to see is that calming influence at the back. Defenders trust him. It gives them more confidence, and just the save out of nowhere with those giant hands. It's very difficult for anybody to match up to his standards. Absolute legend, but for any club, it's one of the greatest keepers of all time.
Yeah, he is. Phil?
If you look at the world record for a goalkeeper now at 75 million, which is that Wally from Chelsea, they're not in the same stratosphere as Pat Jennings, without any shadow of a doubt. So, oh my God, what a mess. So, yeah, if your world's highest transfer fee for a goalkeeper is 75, then I think you're right. I think you're looking at 100 plus, because he clearly got us 15, 20 points a season. Probably less than, because we're only 2 points for the win. But, he probably got us 10, 12 points a season. And, that's the difference, isn't it?
I must admit, I do love that coach. So I think
here we go. Just a couple of big chats in there. So I'll just read this one. Ex-players and legends, etc., won't walk on the board as their motives, philosophy will never marry. On and off the...
Oh, sorry. I pressed that by accident. Sorry.
On and off the pitch, interests and activities. And it was, and that's so true. Graham, when we went on Sunday, Graham Roberts was talking. He's employed as a legend. One of the things he said is, we're in the policy at the moment of buying for youth. He says, why do we need to buy youth? We have a youth academy. So he's not in tune with the board. So it wouldn't work putting him on the board, because he would clash, same as some of our, other people on there. So just going to bring up one from Cody. Sorry, just bring up one for Cody. So, question for the panel. Okay, if you could go back in time to this era of Spurs, but you had to stay the same age you are now, would you do it, or would you stay in today's era?
Oh,
today. For this one.
That's a very good question.
The thing is, if you went back to that era, then you would have seen Jimmy Greaves, wouldn't we? We'd have all seen Jimmy Greaves in the 60s side, so we'd have been there.
No, he means that. Does he mean this era or the 70s?
Yeah, but what I meant is, if you went back to the 70s and we're all in our 40s, we would have seen the 60s. So,
I need time to think. Go to the other two. Let's think on that one, Cody. We'll come back to that one in a minute. I'm thinking. Okay, do you want to read that one?
Right. I used to have a shelf season ticket.
Sorry. They've just slotted their second.
That's when you start realising it's probably all over now.
Yeah. Wayne,
good goal, he did it well,
that was
didn't
the
he?
second goal there, Wayne Bonner.
Yeah.
Oh, shocking.
God, it looks like Eric Dyer defending, doesn't it?
The Spurs 72. Spurs 72, very much like me, would go back so he could see Hoddle again.
I'd go back because I'd know the results of a lot of things. I'd make a load of money.
Yeah, I would actually go back because take that. Take that off there now. Sorry, Spurs 72. We'll get back to you. I want to see Phil's reaction to this. This is what you call the tackle. Cody's Max question. I'll answer it after this. Watch this. In the chat, did he do this deliberately or not?
I proper kicked him in the face. That wasn't even like.
Oh Lord.
That could have been really serious.
Yeah. Well, fair play to Martin Peters anyway. Cody's question, yes.
For doing that.
Yeah, fair play to him. We couldn't beat them, so we might as well beat them up. Yeah, I would go back. I'll go back to this era of Spurs. I would. That's my answer to that. Coover, would you go back?
I don't think I'd have. Well, I remember some of the 70s when I wasn't a small kid, but I wouldn't have enjoyed this particular period of it. But as Phil said, if you get to see all the stuff before and get to see all of the Super Spurs, yeah, of course I would. That's a no-brainer. Get to watch England win the World Cup as well.
Because we'd have seen the 60s and the 80s, so they are proper glory days. With the downside of the majority of the 70s.
Did you see the trainer just shoved a bottle of water in his face? So there you go, you're grand.
Yeah, different times indeed.
Cody Mack says at the bottom, he says here, the comment says, I got back just for the drinking at work person. Oh dear.
I think some of our fringe players do that as well.
Yeah, that's a great question, Cody Mack. Yeah, we're trying to work out the notifications, aren't we, Coover? Somebody said today about the yeah, thank God there was no VAR for that.
Well, the only thing I could see about notifications, because Dermot's a channel owner, I don't know whether he's got some things I can't have access to, but the only thing with notifications on the page is there's the bell for clicking if you want the page to pop up on your notifications.
So all
check if you've done that.
Yeah, so all hit the bell, all hit the notification bell for the very latest on, for the latest comments. And yeah, I wouldn't go back. I miss the good things that are in my life at the minute. Yeah, I would agree with you too on that, Wayne. I would, but
if I could live my childhood over again, I would. It was good times.
Yeah.
Like different times when. No internet, no real computer. I mean, there was first sort of wave of home computers was sort of my generation, but we used to be out on the streets the whole time with a tennis ball or grabbing a football, going down to the school after hours or local park football all day long. Kirby.
Remember that? You used to have to throw the ball and it had to hit the edge of the curb, and if you caught it, you got a point, and if you missed it.
All sorts of variants like that as well, yeah.
But proper stuff outside, you woke up in the morning, you got up, you went out. You came home at tea time when you were hungry.
Your mum had to nag you to actually have some cereal or something before you went out because you didn't want to wait. Yeah. And then you're back after the sun went down and your parents are saying, where the hell have you been? that was a standard sort of day off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And summer holidays lasted forever.
Yeah. There you go. Big up to Wayne. He remembers playing Kirby. Good. Big up to you.
Right. I just want to put it out there in the comments now. We have a video of we were thinking what to do because there's no matches this weekend. And we're doing the Formula One thing. Oh, nearly. We found this video of 101 great goals in match of the day in the 70s. So me and Kuba were thinking, so we're going to put it in the chat. If you want to see it, put yes. I will put it on a poll on our Twitter page. And if you don't, say no. So, let us know what you think. It's just an idea that we have.
Yeah, should we keep it all Spurs related, or would you like to see a bit of everything? Yeah. Some of the other teams around from these sort of eras as well.
There's plenty of Georgie Best, isn't there, around this time, and Dennis Law and the great Leeds side of the great Nottingham Forest side as well from the late 70s. And that's the end of the match. Tottenham's first ever European final defeat. We've lost 2-0 down the first European ever final defeat. So it says at Cleaver and Phil, cheers for the trip down memory lane. See, I was only born in 77, so I'm more an 80s kid.
Whippersnapper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I am. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's very, very upsetting. There's Martin Shivers. And there they are lifting the cup.
No, I don't think we want to see all that, do we?
No, I don't.
Should I end it?
Yeah, just end it now. Put us out of our misery.
And there we go.
That was the 1974 UEFA Cup final, Tottenham versus Feyenoord. We definitely lost on the pitch, but I don't think we lost in the stands. I think we won that battle. Do you think so, lads?
Nothing to write home about. It's
just
no.
bad result and a lot of shame to go with it. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that.
The shameful part of it was the beginning of the end for Bill Nick. So that's the sad part of it. Right. Derek Hutchinson says, I would not mind going back to the 60s when football was a working man's game. Well, we do have some 60s games coming up. We have the 62 FA Cup final and I think the 67 FA Cup final. And there's a few bits and pieces around from the 60s, like the old match of the days. So we will get them on for you. What happens if there's going to be a Premier League break or not. Coover, do you want to read out this one and answer it?
Wayne Bonner saying, show it. I'd love to see match of the day from the 70s. If Spurs aren't playing, show it. Let the youngsters see the real players. Yeah,
there is some Spurs in it. There's one that there's a screamer from Perriman in it. But there's a few there like from Georgie Best and that. So
certainly get to see a lot of actual hard men instead of the pretenders that you get nowadays.
Cody, Matt, Phil.
Yeah, just saying. I wonder if we could track down that anyone went to the game. Yeah, that's be a big ask, but we could try. We could put it out on Twitter, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I'll make a note and we'll talk about it afterwards. See if we can, possibly get anyone. See if we can find out what really went on.
And then Wayne Bonner, Coover, I'll let you answer this one.
Well, nothing to answer apart from I agree. The 62 FA Cup final was a great game of football. Yes, it was. Again, height of the Super Spurs. So, what's not to love?
Jimmy Greaves' first FA Cup final, as well. So we've done that now. Where are we going next, lads? What's our next match we're going to?
We've got to put up something on Sunday, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
Got to have as much retro Spurs as we can find while there's no actual games going
on. Actually, Eugene said, ask Arthur. That's what Eugene is saying.
Oh, yes, of course. Our friend Arthur, who's been popping up on the same channel as him a few times lately. He was on Maury's Love Lounge the other night and also on Eugene's channel the other day. So perhaps we will get... He'd make a good guest. He's certainly seen a few matches in his time as Arthur. So good shape, Eugene. We'll see if we can have a word with him.
Will do. Right, we're going to probably end it there because one of our colleagues is on again later. So we'll need to let him go and get something to eat and So just answer this last question. I miss when football was a man's game instead of Iron Man's game. Boys, would you agree with that, lads?
Yeah, good Dele Alli reference there, isn't it?
It was very good. I missed that now.
I agree. If you've seen us talking on the Irish Hotspur as well, we're always talking with Jack Kanicki about he loves the dark arts in the game. Always some of my heroes were the likes of Perryman and Roberts. As much as I absolutely adored Glenn Hoddle for his godlike ability, you've got to love Graham Roberts getting stuck into players. And the thing is, with these hard men players, it includes people like Gary Mabbott as well, because they could take an insane beating and still get up, dust themselves off, get the job done. Absolutely legendary toughness in a lot of these players, not just Spurs, but I mean you've got the Liverpool players like Jimmy Case and Joe Jordan at Man United and Southampton. There's some really big characters with extremely tough reputations to go with it, and people used to go into these crunching tackles and they both just get up and get on with the game. In a lot of cases, it's just handshake, even share a pint afterwards. All forgotten because it's left on the pitch. It's a good shape. They were definitely a lot tougher in those days.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Just a quick thanks to everyone. Eugene said, great show, guys. Catch up later. Derek Hutchinson said, great stream. Thank you, guys. Paul Brown said, cheers to all. And Cody Mack and Eugene both said Arthur and Kim with little hearts. Yeah.
Big up to Kim and Arthur, yes.
Yeah, big up to Kim and Arthur, and and we're thinking of Bob at this time, and he will make it. Bob's a big fighter, so and also, sorry,
he's got to, because nobody tells people to piss off like Bob does.
We need him to tell us to piss off. And then lastly, great stream, guys. Great throwback game as always. Coys, and then Wayne Bonner. Mackay versus Bremer. Yeah, we'll find that game. We will find that game.
You only even just get the photo. Yeah. It's just so infamous,
iconic.
Isn't it? Iconic. It's one of those favourite football photos. It just happened to be our club, but there's a few in the game that always get remembered, and that is one.
Yeah. Phil, you're on later on the 4 Hotspurs. What time are you on, and what's the show about tonight?
It's just a general catch up. Obviously, we've had a couple of weeks away, but yeah, we're back on at 8 o'clock tonight. But you will find us on here an awful lot over the weekend. We've got Grand Prix qualifying tomorrow. We've got the watch along with the Grand Prix, and we'll put up a little poll on Twitter to see what game we're going to watch on Sunday evening.
Yeah, and Coover.
Just obviously going to be here. I mean, I'm around so many of the channels now. Really, slagging around as much as I can.
I'm pimping you out. I'm pimping you both out. I'm making loads of money here.
I mean, our big love away from the channel instantly is Irish Hotspur. We've got a really big connection with them, especially Dermot with the whole Paddy sort of clan, the whole Paddy mafia going on there.
You're right there. We'll come over and take you over.
That's right. So
the Irish on tour.
Yeah, so Irish Hotspur always love to be there, whether I'm in the chat channel or as a guest. Also been on We Are Tottenham TV quite a few times recently. On Tottenham on tour with Brian Daigle and Brian Ireland. That's always worth a watch. And Paxton Road and Eugene's channel. We've got the Spurswasion and many others. Whatever sort of comes up at the time. There's a few good ones out there. You'll probably see the likes of me and Cody Mack everywhere at the moment. I think he's in every single one I visit at the moment.
Yeah. And Phil, where can people find the 4 Hotspurs tonight? You didn't plug the channel.
Oh, sorry, yeah. 4 Hotspurs will be through Josh the Tottenham guy. And yeah, we're going live at 8 o'clock after a couple of weeks away. So it'll be good to catch up with the guys and bring you some more content of more modern day Tottenham.
Yeah, well, everyone get over there. Thank you, Coover, again. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for this evening. Phil, thank you again for this evening. We will be back tomorrow at 1:15 with the qualifying watch along with me and Phil and Coover. Me and Phil being excited. Cooper thinking he wishing he was somewhere else.
Do I have to be here for that?
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
right. I'm derailing that program.
We need the referee.
Yeah, you're the face of the channel, Cooper. Without you, this channel wouldn't work. So you're the best looking face in the channel.
Well, I've got to sex it up a bit, haven't I?
Yeah, you're our sex symbol. That's why I keep pimping you out. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and that will give you instant notifications when we're on next. If you want to donate to the channel, it's through there. It's to donate. Just you don't have to donate to watch it, but it's donating to just improve the content, so we bring even better content to all of you and make your experience of watching our channel even better. So thank you very much indeed all for watching tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:15 for the Abu Dhabi qualifying Grand Prix. Everyone, Levy out and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on,